Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I animated this tree prop right here. And I just recently posted this, but I was kind of looking at it thinking, I was like, I'd like to do a little bit more with it than it just being a static prop. And really, the only thing I could really do with it to kind of animate it would be to essentially make the jaw move and see if I can make him talk to you. So I kind of went online to kind of look at a bunch of different ways I could do stuff with maybe servos or something like that to try to come up with some ideas and everything like that. And believe it or not, I found a really super low-tech way of making this thing work using the technology out of an old talking skull that we picked up probably over 25 years ago, which I'll show you that mechanism in just a minute. And pretty much I was actually able to make him talk with just a 12-volt motor and one of those picoboo controllers with a little bit of audio. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get into the video and show you what I did. All right, so this is that skull I was referencing. I don't know if any of y'all remember seeing these things about 25 years or so ago. They had the microphone that looked like a bone. Now that bone's gotten broke over the years, but the microphone still works. Actually, this thing actually still works pretty good. I opened it up just to kind of see how the technology was. So I wasn't sure if this was like ran off like a servo or something like that. But when I open it up, I mean, you can see this has probably the most basic, simple system in it that you probably find in anything nowadays. All it is just a little motor right here, fixed into position. Little cam right here, like an offset washer with a string on there. Goes down to the lever, to the rod that goes to the jaw, and then a spring. All it does is when there's power applied to the motor, it spins, pulling on the lever, and it just retracts back, because since this is not gear driven, it's not going to stay in whatever position it stops in. It's going to be able to spin freely. So when it spins, opens the jaw, once there's no power, the spring causes the motor to spring back. So it's a very simple system. So that's the direction I went with making mine work. And what I did is what I used was one of these. I'm sure y'all have seen my light bar collection in the background in a few of my videos. I have a few extra of these little 12-volt DC motors. So I used one of these 12-volt DC motors with a picoboo controller to essentially make the jaw do what I needed it to do. And I originally thought about putting this in the tree itself and save myself a whole bunch of work. But then I started realizing, based on the skulls that are in these newer ones, you see there's definitely a drastic size difference. So yes, I'd have saved a lot of time making the mechanical portion of it, but I had to do a whole bunch of new, sealing it off, painting it, and the whole 9 yards. So I really didn't want to go that route. So I just stuck with what was in the tree and essentially made it work. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the step-by-step that I did to make it work, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so this is just a rough mock-up because I want to see how well it's going to work. Eventually, I plan on painting the whole backside as black anyways. So I got the motor here. I got my little a hard piece of rubber that I drilled a hole in so it fits around the motor tight. Got my fishing line tied to that. I'm just going to hold it for the moment just for the demonstration purpose. Basically, where I got the fishing line coming through. I'll put a little bit of black paint on that spring so you don't see that spring. But it's small enough to where it's really not going to be noticeable anyways. So let me give a little test run and show you what it does. Okay, I tried to position the phone so you can see not only the jaw, but the motor in action at the same time. Now I'm just going to hold this for the time being, just for demonstration purposes. But this will all have like a nice little dress-up cover and the whole 9 yards. But for now, I just want to be able to show you what it's going to do. But you know how like on the picoboo controller, they have like the little button, so you have momentary pulsations of electricity for like an air solenoid or a light or something like that. That's all I'm going to do is recreating here with just by touching this. So essentially when I add power to it, see the jaw will open up. I let off, it'll go. Now, based on where I had the motor placed, will determine how much I get that jaw to move, which obviously that'll come with a lot of adjusting. So once I have everything fully mounted, secured, and I got my picoboo on, I can pretty much have them say whatever I want. So say I'm doing a mansion, kind of build. So not to, knock off Disney, but say, welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. Please leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment on this video. Tell me what you think about this build. Do you think this simple upgrade really made this much better? I think so. Can someone tell the creepy guy standing behind me to, get away from me? He's kind of freaking me out a little bit. All right, so I'm at this point right now. What I'm doing here is that little piece of Tupperware you saw me kind of gluing in place here, or cutting the hole out for, was I wanted to mount the motor inside here. You see I got the motor mounted to a piece of 2x4 with a clamp to hold it, and you see my little cam right there. I want to be able to gain access to that if I ever have to replace the string or replace the motor and all that. I didn't want the motor sticking way off the outside here where it's all exposed. So what this is going to do is going to allow me to, put this cover on here. Once the cover goes on there, it'll kind of help keep any kind of rain out of there. Plus, once it's all once I paint the backside black, this will all blend into where you won't even see it. I have the wires ran down there for the motor. Down here, I'm going to mount another box that I can do some kind of weather proofing on it. That's where I'll put the picoboo controller, the power supply, have the wires run out for the speakers and the motion sensor. And then after that, then I can start programming what I want to do. But you can see how it looks right now. Got a little power to it. See, the cam just moves back and forth. And then, in return, moves my jaw. So, next step, get that stuff mounted, get it programmed, and we'll see what it actually looks like when it's talking. Okay, so I went ahead and I stopped at Walmart real fast and went into the fishing area and found this nice little organizer bin right here that has like a nice little gasket on there. So when it's closed and it has these nice little locks on there, when I have this on the back of the tree and it's sitting up like this, I should help make sure any water that lands on top of it from rain isn't going to get inside there. I am going to drill some holes across the bottom just for some ventilation and to allow any possible moisture out that might get in there. But what I'll be doing right here is taking a little multi-tool, cutting out all these little reinforcement pieces here that all the little slide pieces will go into. Probably mount the picoboo towards the top here so I can get to all my wires easy. And either I'll mount this like this all the way to the side so I can still get to my buttons without a problem. Or if that ends up being an issue, I might put it at a small angle or something like that. It just depends on what I need to do. But first thing is to get all these cut out of there so I can start getting everything mounted. And I'll start wiring everything up and then we'll start the programming. All right, so I went ahead and I got some background noise, just some instrumental stuff with some drums and stuff like that. Obviously, it doesn't sound super great to this speaker, but I'll have something different for it. And then I have, obviously, when he says, welcome and stuff like that. So I got all those programmed in here, so now I'm just going to try to time the mouth to it. So let's see how many tries it takes to get this to where it looks good. Welcome to Mike and Melanie's wedding. Please sign the guest book on your way in. No. Welcome to Mike and Melanie's wedding. Please sign the guest book on your way in. Way off. Welcome to Mike and Melanie's wedding. Please sign the guest book on your way in. I can live with that. I mean, no one's going to critique it that much. I mean, not like they're going to count the pulsations of his jaw. So I could probably work with that. But then, like I said, if I wanted to do something different, like say I'm doing like another cemetery display or something like that, I could always have them to say something completely different, you know, like, you know, welcome here or this or that and all that kind of stuff. So I can do a lot more with this prop now, with it being the way it is. So let's. Welcome to Mike and Melanie's wedding. Please sign the guest book on your way in. All right, so I got the back's all painted black. You see I got the covers on. Everything's covered up. The box on the bottom is down. All the wires are inside of it except for the plug, the speaker wires, and the one for the motion sensor. So pretty much this one's done. Now to show you the results. Well, I think I'm done. I think it came out pretty good. What do y'all think? I came out great. My back is stiff as a board. Wow, that was pretty bad. Or I can make like a tree and leave. That was even worse. I know. That was a dad joke. That it was. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Leave me a comment. How what you think? And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this last little skit. See you on the next one.